They thought it would be funny. They thought it would break her spirit. But none of them expected what happened when the single-dad CEO got down on one knee. The setup Ella Carter was used to being overlooked. At 26, she had grown tired of being the background girl. She wasn't flashy, she wasn't loud, and she didn't try to compete with the world's idea of perfect beauty. She worked hard at a small bookstore cafe, helping her aunt keep it running, and spent her evenings reading novels she could never afford to buy new. But there was something about her that the cruel ones at work had noticed. Her shyness. And to them, shyness was weakness. So when the office girls decided to set her up on a blind date, it wasn't with the intention of helping her find love. No, they wanted to humiliate her. They whispered behind her back, snickered at her plain dresses, and mocked her for always saying no to after-work parties. "Let's put her on a date with someone way out of her league." One of them laughed. "And then record her face when he rejects her." Another smirked. Ella didn't know about the trap. She only knew that her coworkers told her someone was genuinely interested in meeting her. For once in her life, her heart fluttered at the idea that maybe, just maybe, someone had noticed her. To the blind date, the cafe was buzzing that night. Ella walked in wearing her one special dress, pale blue soft fabric with tiny hand-sewn flowers along the neckline. It wasn't expensive, but it was all she had. She smoothed her hair nervously, clutching her small purse like a lifeline. And then she saw him. Across the room sat a man in a tailored suit, tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes that looked like they carried the weight of storms. His presence was magnetic, commanding, yet strangely gentle. His name was Daniel Hayes, though she didn't know it yet, the CEO of Hayes Enterprises, a multi-million-dollar company. When he saw her, something in his expression shifted. He froze for a moment, as if he recognized something familiar, maybe a piece of himself. But Ella didn't notice. Her nerves tangled her thoughts. She sat down, fumbling with the menu, and whispered, "I'm Ella." Daniel gave a small smile. Daniel. Due to the watching eyes, what Ella didn't realize was that in the corner of the cafe, her coworkers were hiding, giggling, and recording. They were waiting for the big laugh, expecting Daniel to brush her off, maybe even humiliate her. But Daniel didn't. Instead, he leaned in and listened. Ella, nervous at first, began to talk about her love for books, her dreams of someday opening a library cafe for kids, and how she always believed stories could heal broken hearts. Daniel didn't laugh. He didn't roll his eyes. He listened as if every word mattered. Because to him, it did. The secret of the CEO, Daniel wasn't just a CEO. He was a single dad. His wife had passed away 3 years ago, leaving him to raise his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, alone. Despite his wealth, his success, and his polished exterior, Daniel carried loneliness like a shadow. He had been on countless dates. Women who were drawn to his money, his power, his name. But none of them had ever talked about dreams, kindness, or children's laughter with the glow that Ella did. For the first time in years, Daniel felt human again. The cruel revelation, halfway through the date, Ella excused herself to the restroom. That's when Daniel overheard the laughter from the corner. "We actually got her to come!" Can you believe it? She thinks this is real. This is going to be priceless when he walks out on her. "Wait till the office sees this video." Daniel's jaw tightened. The cruel game unraveled before his eyes. His chest burned, not just with anger, but with protectiveness. He realized Ella wasn't part of their joke. She was the target. To the turning point, when Ella returned, she noticed something different about Daniel's eyes. They were sharper, more intense, yet filled with something she couldn't name. She thought maybe she had said something wrong, but then Daniel did something no one expected. He stood, pulled his chair back, and got down on one knee. The cafe fell silent. The girls in the corner froze, their phones trembling in their hands. "Ella," Daniel said, his voice steady, strong, and filled with sincerity. "I don't know you well yet, but I know one thing. You deserve to be chosen. Not as a joke, not as someone's entertainment, but for who you are. And I want everyone here to know I choose you." A gasp rippled across the cafe. Ella's heart nearly stopped. Tears welled in her eyes. She didn't understand. Was this real? Why would a man like him say that? The cruel girls dropped their phones in shock. Their plan had backfired spectacularly. A love that grew that night didn't end with a ring, but it did end with something even more powerful. A beginning. Daniel and Ella started seeing each other. Slowly, carefully. Ella was hesitant, scarred by years of being overlooked. But Daniel was patient. He introduced her to Lily, his daughter, and Ella's gentle spirit won the little girl's heart instantly. Together, they built something real. But it wasn't easy. Ella faced judgment. People whispered that she was after his money. Daniel's board of directors questioned whether a simple girl like her could stand beside a CEO. Ella battled her own insecurities, often asking herself if she was truly enough. And Daniel, he had to learn to balance his world of business with the fragile, precious gift of love he had found. The proposal that counted 2 years later, Daniel took Ella back to the very cafe where they first met. This time, it wasn't a setup, it wasn't a joke, it was real. With Lily by his side, Daniel knelt once again, but this time he held out a ring. Ella, you walked into my life when I had stopped believing in love. You showed me kindness when I only knew loneliness. You are not just enough, you are everything. Will you marry me? A tear streaming down her face, Ella whispered the word she had once been too afraid to believe in.
Yes.
To the inspiring message, Ella's story became a lesson, not just for the people who had tried to humiliate her, but for anyone who ever felt unseen, unwanted, or unworthy. Because sometimes life sets you up for heartbreak, only for love to walk in unexpectedly. Daniel didn't fall for her beauty, her wealth, or her status. He fell for her kindness. And that made all the difference.